Okay, so now moving on to some of the other ones. These ones are a little bit quicker. So the zeros for an equation were x equals -8 and x equals 4. What was the equation, or what could the equation have been? So to get x equals -8, I could have started with x plus 8, because when I set that equal to 0 and solve it, I would subtract 8 from both sides. To get x equals 4, I would have needed to start with x minus 4, because then when this is equal to 0, I would add 4 to both sides. So the original equation should look something like that. Okay, now there's a question about a rectangle. So I would always draw a rectangle. Remember that even though you're doing your math on the computer, you still want to have paper, write things down, draw pictures. That you must do that. Otherwise, it'll be really, really difficult. So a rectangle has a length that is 10 less than 3 times the width. So I'm going to call the width W. So the length is 10 less than 3 times the width. So 3 times the width would be 3W. 10 less than that would be subtract 10. So here's the width, W. The length is 3W minus 10. And it says the I forgot to write the area of the rectangle is 8 square feet. So to find area of a rectangle, you do length times width, right? So I'm going to multiply these two together. So W times 3W minus 10. And they told us that the area was 8. So we're trying to solve for W here. So I'm going to have to distribute here. So that's 3W squared minus 10W equals 8. I need all of this stuff on the same side. So I'm going to have to subtract 8 from both sides. And now I can factor this right here. So to get 3W squared, I know I need a 3W and a W. So now I have to play around with numbers to get something that multiplies to be -8. So to multiply to be -8, it could be some version of 1 and 8 or some version of 2 and 4. Those are my only choices, really. So let's try like a +2 and a -4. I know that would multiply to be -8. I need to make sure it gives me this -10W term in the middle. So when I do this multiplication, 3W squared, or 3W times W is 3W squared. 3W times -4 would be -12W. +2 times W would be +W. And then 2 times -4 is -8. So if I look at that middle term here, when I combine these like terms, I will get -10W. So this is the right combination. That was just my little double check of my work. You don't need to include that part. So now I need to solve for W. Since these two things are being multiplied together to equal 0, I know that either this one equals 0 or this one equals 0. So I have 3W plus 2 equals 0, or W minus 4 equals 0. So I'm going to solve these. Subtract 2 from both sides. 3W equals -2. Divide by 3. So I get W equals -2/3. That's one option. Over here, I'm going to add 4 to both sides. So W equals 4. Okay, so we're talking about a rectangle here, a width. So when you're talking about like measurements in inches, it could never be negative. Like the width of a rectangle couldn't be -2/3 of an inch. That doesn't make sense. So when you're talking about dimensions, you can only have positive. So this should be the answer right here.